Soon, hopefully. So there's no segue here.
All that dirty business talk. Just
yeah, exactly. So there's no good segue here. So I just launch into because these aren't associated with these topics. But beyond the summit, sorry. So beyond the summit, I don't know if you've heard of it, Swinny, but you would have, right? Like they host a lot of really, really cool events, and invitational Smash events and other events as well for other games. But essentially what they've always been good at is getting the top like 12, 16, 8 players and, putting them in tournaments and doing lots of fun stuff with them. So they're actually sponsoring Slippi. So Slippi being the online Melee emulator that has rollback netcode in it. And they've made a really mini tournament out of it. And I just wanted to flag it because you know that I love rules and complicated like rules and everything like
yes,
that.
Of course.
This is so up my alley. Like it's insane, right? They've made it so that there's 3 divisions, division 1, 2, and 3, in which 3 is kind of like an open division. And then it's like there's 8 people in each division. And they have a knockout system. So this is almost like in soccer. So they seeded the top 8. It's a single elimination tournament, and they're running it over 4 weeks, right? And genuinely, they got the best players in those regions. So it's all like North America because of the lag, which is kind of makes me laugh because the person who promoted Slippi the most is Leffen, who is based in Sweden, and he's not able to compete in this, which I don't know, just makes me laugh so much. But anyway, and there's $5,000 worth of prizes each week, which is pretty big for a Smash tournament. And yeah, so they've got it. So they set it up as division thing, and then it has relegation. So for instance, Hungry Box lost his first game, so he was eliminated from that, Division 1 tournament. Then he had to play a winner from Division 2. If he'd lost that, the Division 2 person gets in and he gets bumped down to Division 2 for the next week. And you actually had Axe, who's very good Pikachu player, like the best Pikachu ever in Melee, actually made the character viable. He got relegated into Div 2. So I just love this. I love how like complex they've made this for like 4 weeks. And I think it's also got something to do with Fizzy, who's the guy behind Slippi. He's always wanted Melee to be considered like a sport. So yeah, I feel like there's a bit of that tone on it as well. So yeah, really cool. I watched a bit of the first week. The second week's happening at the moment, I believe. Yeah, I think it's really, really cool. Mango, one of the 5 gods, won the first week's tournament, which was pretty cool, against one of the up-and-coming players, Zane. So yeah, it was really cool. I don't know, did you get a chance to check out any of it?
No, I want there to be a tournament where they just like, all right, we're going to roll a dice, and then suddenly Poker Floats comes up as the stage they have to compete on in the final or something. Like, to me, that's the stuff. It's like the whole, football, soccer thing is that, I'm not a big sports person anyway. You are.
No.
But I just would love there to be, like, I think it's a Jimoan joke or something where it's like they're suddenly multi-ball and there's 10 soccer balls on them.
Always say that.
I love it. Like, I just want there to be something like kind of like an NFL Blitz, but in real life. Of like, man, let's have like.
But they don't work.
No, but the point is, I'm not saying a serious thing, just a fun. We're going to have a fun match where there's 10 balls. And how many goals they can get,
They kind of do that. So they, like various... I can't think off the top of my head in football. So when I say football, I mean like soccer, association football. I can't think of an example in football, but in everything else that I follow, there's always like something they do, which is kind of like the arcade quote-unquote version.
But it's always boring. It's always just like, not really. No, but it's always like, it's quicker and stuff. It's not like there's 6 balls on the field, Like,
no. The NFL had one where it was like you had to hit certain targets and like things would move and they'd have moving targets. And no, I don't agree with that. Like, I think they've like the NBA has done heaps of work in this space around their all-star game. They're getting celebrities to play with the professionals. Like, they have like shooting competitions, dunk competitions. Like, I think they've done that. The thing is, ultimately, that's good for a novelty, but there's no audience for that permanently, or else it would be a sport, right? like, you know, the real funny stuff. I get what you're saying, but it just doesn't really work in the long run.
Anyway,
And
back to Melee. I just like just throwing curveballs, and I'm a person that likes playing with stage hazards, so that's just the kind of person I am.
yeah, but you're fine either way, really. But the one thing I will say is like, and it's been kind of cool because some of these new guys coming into Smash Melee, they've been picking up characters that haven't been popular. You know, like even Pikachu coming through, right? But I think it's weird because Melee, the foundations of Melee, I get how it's competitive. I can watch it and get it. But to me, watching Ultimate is just more enjoyable because there's so many more characters, stages. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Melee feels like a bit too like small or something like that. It's like not enough variety for me. Feels like I'm always watching Foxes and Falcos play all the time. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm keeping my eye on it, and I really hope that Slippi continues to grow. All right, well, let's get into my favorite segment before we jump into Donkey Kong Country 2.